Welcome back to the Tie Action Sports channel. Today I'm going to get right into the big content of this episode, and that's a national championship game. If you didn't watch it last night, Bama steamrolled Ohio State 52-24, as I thought could happen, and just showed that Bama this season and was just head and shoulders above the rest. They're the best team in the country from top to bottom. They handled the Ohio State offense, and they absolutely destroyed and burnt that Ohio State defense, and that's what Bama's done all season. There's head and shoulders best team in the nation, undoubtedly. And this for Saban is his sixth national championship with Alabama, and I think that just even further cements his legacy as one of the best, if not the best, coach in college football of all time. Absolutely fantastic coach, and he's done wonders for that program. And I think he'll be remembered as that. I think he'll end up being remembered as the best coach to ever coach college football. Nick Saban, just absolutely amazing coach, as I said. And then also you want to look at the OSU side. This might have possibly been a one-game wonder situation. Obviously, they made the playoffs, destroying a weak Big Ten, because that's what the Big Ten was this year with Ohio State and everyone else, because it was completely weak. And Ohio State did struggle a little bit, as you saw the Northwestern Indiana game. Specifically, Justin Fields struggled. And you saw guys, and like you saw an OSU team that just was uncertain. That's why everyone thought Clemson was going to blow them out when they didn't belong there. And I think they had just had the bulletin board material. They had this revenge game that they've been waiting for all season long with Clemson, and they got the win there. They played a perfect game. They didn't make any mistakes, and then Justin Fields had a superhuman performance, and Ohio State took one away from them on a superhuman performance all around. Now more of a fun thing to talk about after the last night's game is the draft stocks. You got to go with Mac Jones first. I took 4 players, 2 from each team. And first, let's talk about Mac Jones. He was 36 for 45 for 464 yards and 5 touchdowns. So his stock is definitely going up. His poise and pocket pressure was all of that an NFL QB needs. Plus his balls were great last night. That he was delivering perfect touch passes when he needed to, perfect bullet passes when he needed to. He always he was just dotting up everything. And you can't tell me this guy doesn't scream New England Patriots quarterback. I mean, he's that big, stocky guy with a big arm, and he has a little bit of movement in him, but he's mainly going to be a pocket passer guy. I think with his stock shooting up a lot, and I think it'll just shoot up as the offseason goes, and after the combine, he's going to be a mid-first round guy, and guess where the Patriots are sitting? Right about in the mid-first round at pick 15, and I think they'll really, once they get to know this guy, get meetings with him, I think he's going to go to the Patriots, but his draft stock, nonetheless, is going up. Now you want to look at a guy like Justin Fields, who I think his draft stock is plateaued. It's just kind of, you know there's going to be a risk there. Last night he was 17 for 33 for 194 yards and a touchdown. And you could I guess you could say you could credit this game maybe to injury, but he's had accuracy problems all season. When he misses high a lot. Obviously he had all those interceptions in that long stretch there, and he had an excellent game versus Clemson. You can't take that away from him. But for the rest of the season, he's been kind of suspect. His decision making is not always the greatest. He gets stuck on his like first receiver way too much. He tries to play too much hero ball, and you could see that with the Skalski hit. He's got to just, on those kind of hits, he's got to, like when you see a linebacker coming at you like Skalski, how big he is, you got to get down and just try and move yourself out of the way. And he's trying to beat these guys, and that won't work in the NFL, because trust me, there's guys that are a lot bigger than Skalski in the NFL. Now we're gonna look, and first Justin Fields. I think he's a guy that'll end up on the Jets or Falcons. It just depends on how this offseason goes. If he perfect combine, perfect meetings with the Jets, I think the Jets will take him at number 2. But if not, I think him dropping to the Falcons at, I can't remember if they're 4 or 6, but I think hometown kid kind of idea, and just taking him and bringing him in as a project, clean up some of those things, and he could be a good NFL quarterback. But you're always going to have the risk there, since he's an Ohio State quarterback, the Ohio State quarterback curse that may follow him to the NFL. You just got to be careful with that. But now moving on to Shaun Wade, which his draft stock has just been dropping and dropping and dropping. It just hit a floor here. He is terrible man-to-man. Absolutely awful. He's repeatedly getting burnt by players that are just faster than him, and then he doesn't even get his hands up on the line, not even trying to stop him a little bit, cause a little bit of friction, maybe give their lineman more time. He's just getting burnt. His pursuit is bad. He's not that good of a corner. He's really overrated, and when he went into the season as the guy that was supposed to be the best corner in the draft, it kind of failed his team. I think he's a second or third rounder, and I think if he does have a successful NFL career, it'll be as a free safety, not as a corner. And then finally, we got Devonta Smith. This guy's going up. I mean, everyone knew how good he was. He's a Heisman winner, but oh my gosh, 12 receptions, 215 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the first half of the game. He didn't have a catch at the beginning of the third quarter, and he had a hand injury that kept him out for the rest of the game. I mean, they really didn't need him. I think he would have came back if they would have, but there's no reason for him to go back out there. So he got one half of 215 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's just absolute monster. And I think he'll end up going to the Dolphins or the Bengals. Dolphins, I think Dolphins will probably either go Ja'Marr Chase or Devonta Smith. It's just going to depend on the combine stuff. And then if not, and if the Dolphins go with Ja'Marr Chase or they go with a different option, maybe trading down or something like that, and he falls in the Bengals' hands, if the Bengals can't get Sewell, he might be a good pick there. But I think overall, Devonta Smith draft stock just went up even further after what happened. So that was it. That was my little coverage of the national championship game. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Peace.